Samanyolu Yayın grubunun alışveriş kanalındasınız sevgili seyirciler. Tuna Shopping TV'de, yani güvenli alışverişin adresinde buradasınız. Hoş geldiniz diyoruz ve ekranda bir cep telefonu var. Güzel bir cep telefonu var. Şimdi cep telefonu sahibi olmak isteyenler, cep telefonum eskidi diyenler, artık değiştirmem gerekiyor, yeni özellikleri olan bir cep telefonu arıyorum ama benim kesimi biraz zorluyor yeni model cep telefonları ve biraz da uygun fiyatlı olsun, kapsamlı olsun ama benim kesime de hitap etsin diyenler, çok güzel bir cep telefonu var karşınızda efendim. Gerçekten çok uygun fiyat ama özelliklerine bakacak olursanız gerçekten mükemmel özellikleri olan, kapsamlı olan bir cep telefonu. Öncelikle bu cep telefonunun çok uygun bir fiyattan geldiğini söylemek lazım sevgili seyircilerimize. Efendim, bu görmüş olduğunuz bu cep telefonu şu an ekranda cicili bicili duruyor. İçini açtığımızda çok daha detaylı inceleyeceğiz ama 2.1 megapiksellik kamerasının olduğunu söyleyelim. Ve titanyum alaşımlı kasası sevgili seyirciler, düşmelere, darbelere ve bazı problemlere karşı kendisini koruma altına alacak. Beraberinde efendim internete girebileceksiniz WAP'la. Ve tabii ki bu telefonun olmazsa olmazlarından radyomuz var. Her yerde radyo dinleyebileceğiz. Televizyonu var sevgili seyirciler. Evet, bütün karasal yayınları izleyebileceğiniz, her nerede olursanız olun o kanalları açıp seyredebileceğiniz ve kayıt altına alabileceğiniz bir de televizyonu var. Efendim bir de şöyle üstten çıkan ince bir anteni var ki gerçekten çok dekoratif duruyor, çok şık duruyor. Bu cep telefonunda ayrıca sevgili seyirciler o kadar çok özelliği var ki Bluetooth'u var efendim. 200 saatlik bekleme süresi ve 5 saatlik konuşma süresi size rahat rahat konuşma imkanı. Sevdiklerinizle doyasıya konuşma imkanı sunuyor. Ve geldim en önemli özelliklerinden bir tanesine. Çift sim kartı özelliği var bu cep telefonunun sevgili seyirciler. Çift sim kartı malumunuz artık zamanımızın gereksinimi, önemli ihtiyacı. 2 tane telefon taşımak istemiyoruz ya da beraberinde 2 GSM operatörünün hattını kullanırken bir tanesinden mesaj çekip bir tanesinden arama ihtiyacımız olabiliyor. İşte ya da özelimiz ya da işimiz diye ayırabiliyoruz cep telefonlarımızı. Artık öyle ayrı ayrı cep telefonları kullanmaya gerek yok. Biz size çift hatlı modelleri farklı farklı sunuyoruz ama Twings'in X10 modeli sevgili seyirciler gerçekten aktif olarak çift hattını kullanabilmesi özelliği sayesinde size mükemmelliği vaat ediyor. Peki sevgili seyirciler, bu güzel cep telefonunu artık açıp inceleyelim mi? MP3 alma özelliğinden bahsettim mi size? Video kaydetme özelliğinden. Evet, bu güzel cihaz size XHTML özelliğiyle internette dolaşma imkanı da sağlayacak. Ve MP3'lere ve televizyona tek tuşla ulaşabiliyorsunuz. Peki 2.1 megapiksellik kamerası var demiştim ya. Şimdi sürpriz özelliğine gelmek istiyorum sevgili seyirciler. Bu cep telefonunun üstte bir de şöyle bakınız. Ben bir de hani ne derseniz deyin, gizli kamera mı dersiniz, sürpriz kamera mı dersiniz ama şakalar yapabileceğiniz, espriler üretebileceğiniz çok güzel bir kamerası var üstte. 2.1 megapiksel kendi kamerası iken hemen hemen 2.0 megapiksele yakın, 2 megapiksele yakın üst kamerası, tepe kamerası da mevcut bu güzel cihazın. Ve açalım artık değil mi sevgili seyirciler? Bu çift hatlı Twings'in X10 modeli. Muadillerini neredeyse çarpı 10 yani 10'a katlayan bu güzel model şimdi açılış melodisiyle bizleri karşıladı. Sevgili seyirciler, bu arada bu güzel cep telefonu arkada müthiş bir hoparlör barındırıyor. Şöyle açayım mı? Bakınız, açıyorum arkasını. Burada ne görüyorsunuz? Kocaman bir hoparlör görüyorsunuz sevgili seyirciler. Tuna Shopping TV'desiniz. Twings'in X10 modeliyle karşınızdayız. Çok uygun bir fiyata, gerçekten çok hoş, kapsamlı bir telefon karşınızda. 2.1 megapiksel ledli olduğunu söylememiz lazım kamerasının. Burada bir hoparlör görüyoruz ki sesi mükemmel seviyeye çıkartıyor. Peki şöyle sesini...
You're on EbruAfrika News. My name is Rina Shivesi. In the headlines. Kenya's shopping mall under siege. At least 68 killed, scores injured in Westgate shopping mall attack.
William Samuel Ruto, you have been charged in
Ruto's ICC trial. Judges allow Kenya Deputy President William Ruto to lead the Hague over Nairobi shopping mall attack. Nigeria killings. Death toll in northeastern Nigeria rises to 142 as soldiers battle insurgent group. And in sports, Kenya's rugby sevens team Shujaa wins Safaricom Sevens title. We begin this bulletin in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, on the situation at the Westgate shopping mall, which has been under attack since Saturday. Kenyan troops backed by Israeli agents continue rescue efforts in a bid to end the siege in the upmarket shopping mall and free hostages held by Somali militants in an attack that has left at least 62 people dead and over 180 injured.
Fine, yeah. Here is fine. Okay.
In front of the nearby hospital, survivors tell their story to the press.
And those gangsters shoot all the people who are just seeing. First of all, they just spoken by saying, we are the Al-Shabaab militia. Yeah? The government of Kenya have sent their soldiers to kill our people. So we are just coming back to revenge to those what happened to their countries.
Sporadic gunfire rang out as Kenyan security officials said they were trying to kill or capture the remaining attackers and end the 28-hour-long bloodbath at the Westgate Mall.
At 5 p.m., the soldiers entered inside. At 5 p.m. so the soldiers entered inside and they're just shooting randomly there. Yeah, they're just shooting randomly. And then I had the number of the manager. I called him and we informed him that we are at this particular point. So if the soldiers are coming in, they have to recognize we are the staffs, but we are not the gangsters.
Those that were injured received medical attention in different hospitals around the city.
Yesterday we had admitted 40 patients out of the 126 that we saw. At this point in time we still have about 28 patients who are still admitted in the hospital. About 8 of them are scheduled to go for surgery to remove the bullets and shrapnel wounds. The rest of them we are treating them, and we are hoping that in the next 2-3 days time we will be able to start discharging them.
Somalia's Al-Qaeda-inspired Shabab rebels said the carnage at the part Israel-owned complex was in retaliation for Kenya's military intervention in Somalia, where African Union troops are battling the rebels. The attack, the worst in Nairobi since an Al-Qaeda bombing at the U.S. Embassy killed more than 200 people in 1998, was condemned by world powers and the United Nations. After a day and night of sometimes ferocious gun battles, security sources said police and soldiers had finally pinned down the gunmen. Israeli interests in Kenya have come under attack before. In November 2002, there were 2 simultaneous attacks in the Mombasa area. A missile targeted an Israeli charter flight as it took off from the port city's airport, but it missed. At the same time, a car packed with explosives smashed into the Paradise Hotel, the only Israeli-owned hotel in the Mombasa area, as Israeli tourists were checking in. 10 Kenyans and 3 Israelis died. The Red Cross has been greatly instrumental in the rescue and medical assistance during this dark time, with many Kenyans donating blood for those injured. Kenyans have also rallied together across the country to contribute money that will be geared towards the much-needed medical attention for the victims. Many friendly countries have pledged their support for Kenya during this time.
For your own safety, one person to come.
And as the rescue mission continued minutes after 1 p.m. East African time, smoke was seen billowing from the building under attack. EbruAfrika's Agnes Gakunga is at the scene and brings us the latest.
At exactly 1:15 East African time, heavy gunfire and loud explosives were heard coming from the mall, which is under siege. The security officers which are carrying out the operation, being led by the Kenya Defence Forces, were seen taking their positions. Their main target to rescue all the hostages. It is the third day since Westgate shopping mall was attacked by gunmen. The Al-Qaeda-linked group, the Al-Shabaab, on Saturday claimed responsible for the attack. It is an attack that is closely being monitored both locally and internationally. Both local and international media is closely following each and every event related to the attack.
Yes. You are Jehovah Jireh. Yes. You are the mighty God. Yes.
Earlier today, preachers from Kenya arrived at the scene of crime, singing the national anthem, and their prayer is for all the hostages to be released alive.
This act of terrorism was carried out by a group that does not value lives and did not consider sparing the lives of even helpless women and children. We take this opportunity to condemn this terror act and all those who executed it. We pledge our commitment to identify with the plight of the victims of this tragedy and we plan to mobilize and have already mobilized both material and financial support.
Since Kenya sent its officers in Somalia in June 2011 to flush out the Al-Shabaab terror group, it has witnessed several attacks in its coastal town of Mombasa, here in the capital Nairobi, and in Garissa. For now, the rescue operation continues. It is the third day since the rescue operation kicked off here at Westgate Shopping Mall, and the security officers are doing all they can to rescue all the hostages. And as you can see behind me, the smoke is a clear indication that the situation is getting worse each and every minute. Agnes Gakunga, EbruAfrika News, Nairobi, outside Westgate Shopping Mall.
Now, the International Criminal Court has allowed Kenya Deputy President William Ruto to leave The Hague, Netherlands, to attend to the Nairobi Westgate Shopping Mall tragedy. The judges granted Ruto his request, ruling that the trial will proceed in his absence.
William Samuel Ruto.
Deputy President William Ruto has been granted 1 week to attend deadly military attack on Nairobi's shopping mall. On Sunday, Ruto's defense team filed an urgent request to have the trial chamber adjourn the trial proceedings in order that Ruto can return to Kenya to deal with an ongoing and extremely serious matter of national security. In his ruling, Judge Chile Ebo Osuji said, in light of the circumstances and the views heard during the hearing, the chamber excuses Ruto from the proceedings. For the moment, the excusal is permitted for 1 week only, subject to any further requests that Defense Counsel may make if it needs to be extended.
Honorable action for the prosecutor to do.
Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda has, however, filed an appeal to overturn the ruling. The Deputy President is facing charges of crime against humanity alongside former radio journalist Joshua Sang.
Not guilty, Your Honor.
In count 5,
Joshua Arab Sang.
Away from that, Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir, wanted by the International Criminal Court on genocide charges, said on Sunday that he planned to attend the week's UN General Assembly and had already booked his stay in New York. Washington has led calls for Bashir to face international justice over bloodshed in the now decade-old conflict in Sudan's Darfur region, and a senior State Department official said last week that Bashir would not receive a warm welcome if he traveled to New York. Bashir said he was not worried that U.S. authorities would arrest him, as demanded by human rights groups, because Washington is not a member of the ICC.
Attending the UN Assembly is our right. This is our right, and we will travel to United States, and nobody can question any of us, because there is no law in the